Welcome to the Pencil Bob channel. I hope you enjoy my stories. Please like and subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you never miss out. Now on with the stories.
I never thought I'd be in this situation when we moved into our new home. My wife and I were so excited to join this community, especially since it seemed perfect for our son with special needs. But now, I feel like we're trapped in a nightmare with this HOA. It all started when we decided to build a pool for our son. He has a life-threatening condition that makes it unsafe for him to use the community pool. So we thought having our own would be ideal. We went through all the proper channels, working with a reputable pool company that's done plenty of work in our neighborhood. They helped us submit all the required documentation to the HOA. I was shocked when we got the denial letter. The HOA claimed we needed to provide this complicated drainage survey that none of us had ever heard of before. I called around to local surveyors, thinking it would be a simple fix. But every single one told me they couldn't do it. Either they didn't have the resources or it would be insanely expensive. Something felt off, so I started asking our neighbors about their experiences getting pools approved. Not a single one mentioned anything about this survey requirement. Even people who'd submitted plans just days before or after us hadn't been asked for it. Our pool company was baffled too. In 40 years of business, they'd never encountered this request before. I tried reaching out to the HOA for clarification. Their response made my blood boil. They smugly informed me that they could change the rules whenever they wanted without approval. Then they sent me some updated guidelines that conveniently included this new survey requirement. But here's where it gets really fishy. The very next day, the HOA sent out a community-wide email about recent updates. It had a link to the latest guidelines, and guess what? No mention of this mysterious survey requirement at all. I checked our owner's portal too, where they keep all the official documents. The most recent update to the guidelines was from over 2 months ago, long before we submitted our pool plans. It's crystal clear to me now. They're singling us out. They're making up rules on the fly just for us, trying to make it impossible for us to build this pool for our son. I'm furious and heartbroken. We've already paid a huge deposit to the pool company, but we can't move forward because of this ridiculous, impossible to fulfill requirement that apparently only applies to our family. I've been meticulously documenting everything, every email, every timestamp, every conversation. But I feel so helpless. The developer behind this HOA is a massive corporation. Even if we pursue legal action, I doubt anything will come of it. They have endless resources to drag this out and wear us down. The worst part is feeling trapped here. We bought this house thinking it would be perfect for our family, especially our son. Now it feels like we're living under the thumb of people who want to push us out simply because our child has special needs. I've started losing sleep over this. Every time I see our son longingly looking at the other kids playing in their backyard pools, my heart breaks a little more. We just want him to have a safe place to swim and play like any other kid. Is that really too much to ask? I've been researching our options, looking into disability rights and fair housing laws. It seems like what they're doing could be considered discrimination, but proving it feels like an uphill battle. I've reached out to a few lawyers, but the potential costs are daunting. We've already sunk so much money into this house and the pool deposit. Can we really afford a legal fight too? My wife and I have been arguing more lately, the stress of the situation taking its toll. She wants to just give up on the pool idea to keep the peace, but I can't shake the feeling that if we back down now, it'll only embolden the HOA to push us around more in the future. What if next time it's something even more critical for our son's well-being? I've tried talking to some of our neighbors about the situation, hoping to rally support. While a few have been sympathetic, most seem reluctant to get involved. I get it, they don't want to risk becoming targets themselves. But it's disheartening to feel so alone in this fight. The irony is, we moved here partly because we thought a planned community with an HOA would mean less drama and more stability. Instead, we found ourselves in the middle of a Kafkaesque nightmare where the rules seem to change on a whim, but only for us. I've started documenting every interaction we have with anyone from the HOA or the builder. I'm taking photos of our yard regularly, just in case they try to claim we're violating some other arbitrary rule. It feels paranoid, but I don't know what else to do. There are days when I just want to put the house on the market and cut our losses. But then I think about uprooting our son, taking him away from the few friends he's made here, and starting all over again somewhere new. It doesn't seem fair to him either. I've been reaching out to disability advocacy groups, hoping someone might have experience with similar situations. So far, I've gotten a lot of sympathy but not much concrete help. It feels like we're pioneers in some twisted way, blazing a trail we never wanted to be on. The pool company has been incredibly patient with us, but I know we can't keep them on hold forever. Soon we'll have to make a decision, either find a way to meet this impossible requirement, or forfeit our deposit and give up on the pool altogether. Neither option feels right. I keep replaying all our interactions with the HOA in my mind, wondering if there were signs we missed early on. Did they always have it out for us, or did something change? Was it the first time they saw our son's medical equipment? Or when we asked about making some minor accessibility modifications to the house exterior? The stress is starting to affect every aspect of our lives. I'm distracted at work, constantly checking my phone for emails from the HOA or our lawyer. My wife has started having anxiety attacks. Our son, perceptive as he is, knows something is wrong even though we've tried to shield him from it. I find myself daydreaming about confronting the HOA board members directly, demanding answers. But I know that could backfire spectacularly. We need to be smart about this. Strategic. But it's hard to think clearly when you feel like you're being attacked in your own home. Every time I see a moving truck in the neighborhood, I wonder if it's another family being driven out by the HOA's tactics. Are we just the latest in a long line of victims? Or are we really being singled out because of our son's disability? I've started attending every HOA meeting, hoping to catch them in a contradiction or find some allies among the other homeowners. So far, it's just been an exercise in frustration. They're careful not to say anything incriminating in public. As the days drag on, I find myself becoming someone I don't recognize. Suspicious, angry, always on edge. This isn't the life we wanted for our family. We just wanted a safe, happy home for our son. Instead, we're caught in this bizarre battle with faceless bureaucrats who seem determined to make our lives miserable. I don't know how this will end. Will we find a way to build the pool and stand our ground? Will we be forced to give up and move? Or will we end up in a drawn-out legal battle, draining our savings and our sanity in the process? All I know is that I'm not giving up without a fight. Our son deserves better than this. And so do we. Look, I get where you're coming from, but I think you're missing the bigger picture here. Sure, it's technically the builder calling the shots right now, not a full-fledged HOA. But that doesn't make this situation any less fishy. The timing and specificity of these new rules are super suspicious. Why is this family the only one being asked for this impossible-to-get survey? If it was really about previous pool problems, wouldn't they apply this rule to everyone? And let's not ignore the context. We're talking about a family with a special needs kid who can't use the community pool. It's not a stretch to think discrimination might be at play, especially given how they're handling it. The way they're flip-flopping on the guidelines and only enforcing this for one family screams shady business. Maybe it's not outright discrimination, but it sure looks like they're trying to make life difficult for this particular family. Something's not right here, and they deserve a fair shake. If you step back for a moment, are you sure it isn't something unique about your lot that's triggered this, and not about you or your family? Drainage and elevation surveys are pretty common where I'm at. If you're altering the terrain significantly rather than just digging a hole, they might have an honest concern about drainage to your neighbors or an interruption of the overall drainage in the neighborhood. As a former HOA board member, I find this situation deeply troubling. While HOAs serve a purpose in maintaining community standards, this is a clear abuse of power. The arbitrary application of rules, especially ones that appear to have been created on the spot, goes against everything a well-run HOA should stand for. The fact that this family is being singled out, particularly given their child's medical needs, is unconscionable. It raises serious questions about potential violations of the Fair Housing Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act. The HOA's actions could open them up to significant legal liabilities. What's particularly concerning is the apparent attempt to cover their tracks by sending out conflicting information about the guidelines. This level of dishonesty and manipulation is unacceptable in any organization, let alone one responsible for governing a community. I would strongly advise this family to seek legal counsel immediately. They should also consider reaching out to local media and disability rights organizations. HOAs often back down when faced with public scrutiny and the threat of legal action. It's unfortunate that it may come to this, but sometimes it's necessary to stand up to such blatant discrimination.
I would like to thank you for watching the video to the end. To encourage us to make more videos, please like, subscribe, comment, as well as share. Check out this other video if you haven't already.